Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tingling Tea. Here at the Tingling Tea, we talk about the strange and supernatural, the creepy and the cryptid, the weird and the wonderful, and all that is phenomenally freaky. Tonight with me tonight is my special guest host, because we only have two, so I'm going to say they're both guest hosts. No, one's a regular host and one's our guest host. Let me just bring them in. Without further ado, everyone, let me introduce you to my friend, who's been my friend for over 30 years, the wonderful and the phenomenal Mr. Eddie Augie Ominous. Hello.
Hello. How are you? Aren't you just amazed by my beauty today?
Your beauty? Oh, look, I'm feeling the same way. We're both in hoodies.
I have a really bad case of the epithets today, so I'm doing the best I can.
What's the epithets?
F is in the letter F.
Oh.
It. The epithets.
The epithets. Oh, I get it. The epithets. All right. And you all back with us again as a special host.
So
always
special.
So very special.
Went
always
to a special school on a special bus.
Yep, and it was full of rainbows. Mr. Mayhem, Mike Alexander. Hello.
I'm channeling my Miss Annabelle today. Hello.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yes, exactly. But you don't have the lipstick on because she always has lipstick on. So,
I traded it for a beard.
Okay, well that's good enough. So as you know, audience, Annabelle is not with us this evening. She will be back with us hopefully next week. She took a little break today. So I'm going to give this disclaimer because we always need to do this. This is the 8 o'clock hour, so this is an adult show. If you don't like anything concerning horror, sci-fi, any of that kind of content, please turn us off or turn us down. And if you have children watching, please understand we're asking that you use parental discretion. We're not going to say that we curse all the time, but sometimes that happens. So we just want to make sure that your child is mature enough to handle the content that we are going to be displaying this evening. So just want to make sure. Right?
All right.
We will try. We will do our very, very best.
Exactly. So you all, this is a very special month. This month is actually, that's not right. I'm wondering if I got the wrong thing up here.
My goodness. It came from the radio month.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
I love it when we go off the rails.
Yeah,
right at the beginning. I love it. I love when it's right at the beginning, too.
Oh, yep, it is.
We're back on track.
Yes, so we're back on track. This is Happy Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Yes.
Awesome.
So we want to wish all of our friends and family who are Asian and Pacific Islander a happy month. This is a time to delve into content that is Asian content or Pacific Islander content, movies, films. Patronize your local stores that are Asian or Pacific Islander, and get to know the history of Asian Americans here in the U.S. and Pacific Islanders, indigenous Pacific Islanders. Get a chance to actually educate yourself on our brothers and sisters that are Asian and Pacific Islander.
This is particularly important now because of all of the negativity that they're experiencing.
Right, exactly.
I have friends that have been attacked. In the streets of Manhattan because of the way they look. And where they're from. It's pretty bad.
Hey,
pretty bad out there.
It is a bad thing for anybody that is of color or if is different. Somebody that's of a different ethnicity here. And I don't understand why that is, but we could go into a whole episode about that.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm appalled by all of it and very hurt that this is going on in our community. But yes, this is a time where we need to be supporting our Asian and Pacific Islander brothers and sisters, you all. Please make sure and have a better understanding of the community.
Yes.
We are all different. We're all the same in the sense that we share differences in the sense that we are not Caucasian, but in order for us to understand one another, we must understand our heritage and we must understand our cultures, and then give an appreciation to that, and make sure that we appreciate each other and support one another. So
absolutely, I couldn't say that better. I mean, the challenges that this particular community has had historically in this certainly since World War II, but historically has been amazing. I mean, we've had so many groups within the U.S. that have gone through massive hardships, and right now we're just the focus seems to be on Asian Pacific people, and it's just shocking and horrible, and it continues. It seems to be escalating as well.
Yeah.
So something needs to give. We need to be better than this. I think we're better than this.
We are, but I think what it all stems from is being educated. By the way, I want to shout out to Nate. He's part of my Bit and Apple crew. We are actually we went live tonight on the Bit and Apple Facebook page.
Nice.
So I have to share. So I didn't have to share it because all the time I have to leave it up to Ruff to share it. So I just went ahead and went live on the page.
Hey, tonight. Nate. Good to see ya.
So with that being said, I mean, we could definitely have another discussion about that and the dynamic of that, and the fact that we need to unify as communities. We've always, I will say that the struggle of Black people here in America has always lent way for everybody else. So we need to appreciate one another because we cannot do this separately. We have to be a combined force.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hello, Davian. So with that, we are going to get into some content tonight. Our content this evening is going to be centered around Asian horror, Asian cryptids, and Asian video games. We're not, so we're going to try to get into a little bit of that tonight. But before we start doing anything, there's some stuff that's been in the news.
Yeah, we got to talk about this.
Ooh.
What in the hullabaloo is going on?
Well, let me tell you. By the way, if you haven't noticed, Sista and I are just switching roles tonight. I'm going to be taking on some of this stuff, and she'll take on some of the movie stuff.
Ooh.
It's because I love Asian horror films, and unfortunately, Augie doesn't know very much about Asian horror films. So,
Absolutely.
Okay.
So now we know that over the last several decades, who knows how many numbers of alien aircraft had been observed in our planet's airspace, right? And they've actually been able to reach extreme velocities with no visible means of lift or propulsion. Mm-hmm. And they've also performed these massive maneuvers. I don't know if you've seen these videos, these unbelievable maneuvers that would create G-force that no human would be able to withstand. So it's really been unbelievable that lately we have a lot of news going on from the Pentagon. Now, the Pentagon is investigating UFO sightings again, and they're doing it in a very public way, more public than we've ever seen it before. So over the past couple of years, we've actually seen some videos that have been leaked from the Pentagon, and then the Pentagon, and they go onto websites like ours and other places, and they get shared over the internet. And then the Pentagon actually has confirmed that they are UFOs. So let's give you a little snippet. This particular video, we'll go to the first video. This particular video is sort of a culmination of things, but they're primarily videos of UFOs that were leaked onto the internet more than 2 years ago, about 2 years ago.
Okay, let's start.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. The whole thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is the LNS, dude. Well, if there's look at that thing. It's rotating.
Did you see it fly by just then?
Nickel 613, Roger. Oh, got it! Woohoo! Roger, there's troubleshooting. What the fuck is that? Did you talk to moving target? No, I took an auto turn. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly!
Hey, Raphael, we're looking at UFOs. All right. So those were actually found by the Navy, Navy pilots, and they were confirmed UFOs, and they came out about 2 years ago. And it made a little bit of a stir. A lot of these things, a lot of people on the, in news organizations are they don't know how to treat this kind of content because it's so strange and it's so unusual. A lot of them make jokes out of it, and a lot of them, just sort of push it off to sort of strange and things to be made fun of. But we've seen this pervasiveness come out over the past couple of years. So we know that the Pentagon is investigating UFOs again, and we know that the Pentagon's Inspector General is actually looking into the actions to address the series of UFO sightings in recent years by U.S. personnel. So that is a recent sort of public action that the Pentagon is taking.
So
today.
I know that this has been going on, and I know that recently we showcased on this show the fact that there is some kind of special space force. Remember, there was a gentleman who just recently wrote a book, a gentleman from Israel, a scientist from astrophysicist from Israel, speaking of the space force, and that our past president Donald Trump wanted to expose it, and they asked him not to. So now, why all of a sudden is this new? We know since Area 51 that this stuff has been existing, and that we've actually taken this technology and created things as a result of it. So why now do you feel they are feeling it necessary to expose it? What's different?
Well, I'll tell you, it's all thanks to the remember the $2.3 trillion COVID-19 relief spending bill signed in December. Well, there was a provision that was tucked into the spending bill that it's called the Intelligence Authorization Act for the 2021 fiscal year, and the act was contained in the overall relief bill, and it said that anything that is a UFO that is putting our airspace in danger needs to come out publicly. Guess when? 1 month from now.
So in other words, what you're saying is that they had to release it a month from each time that there's been some kind of...
No, they have to release it. So today is May. We're recording this in May. So in June, there is going to be a big bombshell report on UFOs that comes out from the government.
Wow. Shout out to Mia and Raphael, by the way.
So this may be a trickle effect to get people prepared for some of the information that's going to come out.
Do you feel that they think that the American public now is capable of handling this kind of information? Because realize that in the 50s, we were afraid of an invasion by unidentified flying objects or aliens. So do you think that they now feel people are at the right mindset to accept this?
Yeah.
You think so, Mike?
Yeah, I think so, because remember, we're already building a space fleet and everything. Now we're building like a space hotels and whatnot. So now it's another space race in a sense to establish a presence above Earth. And then also I feel like now they'd be like, oh wow, look, I'm new to this, but it's like, oh wow, look at these UFOs. Wow, we didn't know they were here, even though we have it documented. I also feel like they're going to be giving us a lot more reports, because I don't know if you guys know, but like China recently launched a rocket, but then it also carried the launcher with it, and the launcher's falling back to Earth. And I feel like that's a great excuse for the government to be like, also, we've noticed some things up there. Let's go up and check. And then, oh, look, more UFOs.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think would happen, honestly.
So let's go to the second video. Now, the second video is of a more recent. It was within the past week. It was leaked again. We don't know how it was leaked onto the internet. It showed up on some news organizations, and the Pentagon has confirmed that this is actual UFO footage. By the way, this was buzzing. You know how was buzzing oh, look, it says it right there. It was buzzing a Navy ship. I'll talk about UAPs in a second. It's another word for UFOs. They're rebranding. By the way, this is CNN that we're showing.
You see the date, August 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this stuff is going on now. So here's what we know so far. We know the Defense Department has reversed its official position of publicly ignoring UAPs. Now, UAPs is another way to say UFOs. UAP stands for Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. It's a new trendy name for UFO, and is starting to tackle the subject openly for the first time. So these objects have repeatedly violated U.S. Military airspace. And according to the spokesperson, the photos of the three unidentified flying objects, one sphere-shaped, another acorn-shaped, which you just saw, and another one is characterized as a metallic blimp, were all taken by military personnel. So these are not, footage that was developed by someone, or it could be fake or something like that. This is military footage that is getting out into the public realm. She also went on to say that to maintain operations security and to avoid disclosing information that may be useful to potential adversaries, the Department of Defense does not discuss publicly the details of either the observations or the examinations of reported incursions into our training ranges or designated airspace, including those incursions initially designated as unidentified aerial phenomenon. So there's quite a bit going on here. Now you have all of these other people that are coming out, such as the person from Israel. We have the person that ran the Pentagon UFO tracking unit has publicly ruled out the theory that these craft came from the U.S. arsenal or from arsenals of our adversaries, leaving only the theory that maybe it came from someone or something else. And this is what they said, in quotes, someone or something else. This is what this person said. And what we know is that there's been this steady drip of UAP-related material from the U.S. military in recent years. These leaked videos, declassified documents have been spilling out to the public on a regular basis since 2017. So, and there was recently a bombshell New York Times review of that, all of that information. And it said that the U.S. government has secretly been investigating UFOs for years. So,
but the thing is that we've known this. You know, it's not like we're new to this, and especially UFOologists, people who do study that, they've been leaking this information. You've got UFON, you've got Coast to Coast Radio, all of these shows that are actually exposing what the government has hidden. They've been exposing it because actually people have been directly submitting this information to them so that they can present it live to their audience. So I just find it very strange all of a sudden now that this is a thing for the U.S. government. Why
Isn't
they feel
it strange?
I honestly feel that they're preparing us for something.
Isn't it strange? I agree.
Yeah.
What are they preparing us for?
Well, let's get into that right after we see our next video, and we can go into further discussion about that.
Okay.
So the final video that I wanted to show you all was something that was actually a recording. It's a recording of an American Airlines pilot, and this actually happened only a month ago, and it's under investigation right now.
Oh.
We just had something go right over the top of us that, I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object that almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast that went right over the top of us.
A mystery in the sky. An American Airlines pilot encountered an unidentified object while flying over New Mexico Sunday, and you were just listening to what he described to air traffic control. The flight was headed towards Phoenix. No military tests were happening at the time, and the plane was flying some 400 miles away from the nearest missile range. So the FAA is investigating.
Mm.
Yep.
So just to speak to that, as a flight attendant for American Airlines, which I was a flight attendant for 16 years, I've had, of course, I was always loved anything sci-fi and paranormal. I would actually go up and ask some of the pilots, have they ever had any encounters? And you'd be surprised how many of them have seen things. But they either did not say anything, and it was a tower to plane type of conversation. They never even went past it. They don't call the military sometimes unless absolutely necessary. A lot of these guys are ex-military. They say that they don't talk about it because they say people will think that they're crazy.
Mm.
But I've heard many stories from pilots talking about this.
So it's something that we all need to be focused on and eagerly anticipate. We'll have to do another show dedicated to that big report that's coming out next month, because it's supposed to be a bombshell. I mean, that might be marketing. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a dud. But I don't know. It seems like something's in the wind here.
Well, like I said, I believe that they are preparing us for something. Now, prior to what we know is modern technology and people being able to search the web and stuff, I used to read a lot of books, like, Chariots of the Gods and stuff like this. This is basically reining in an announcement where we're going to actually have actual full presentation of an alien race to us. This is going to be next. This is the prep. And that's what's going to actually happen. And the thing is that they've been here for a long time in underground facilities. People have actually exposed them, but they've been coming out as either that they're crazy, they're maniacal, or it's a lie. But I am telling you, now with this being exposed, those people are credible. Those people that have been talking about this all this time are completely credible. To the point that, like I said, these alien races have been living here, just like I said, we discussed last week or a couple of weeks ago about this special space alliance that we have that signifies and justifies the fact that we actually have had aliens living here and that they have been given permission from our government to take people, to actually take things. This is part of the agreement that they have. And if you listen to like Coast to Coast or any of those shows, they can expose everything. I highly recommend listening to Coast because there's a lot of stuff there.
I will definitely check it out.
Yeah.
I just think feels a little different because it's reaching the larger media audience. It's reaching news organizations. It's being confirmed by our government.
Right.
This is no longer in the realm of conspiracy. It's now being confirmed at a whole different level.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, that's amazing. So, what I'm worried about is how's that going to change our life per se? Like, what's going to happen now? Are they going to send more of us out there to explore? I'm kind of worried. I'm kind of worried what this means because we don't have all our stuff together here right now. And then we're introducing probably intergalactic race as well that's already been here, but officially.
Well, I from the studies that I've learned that there are different alien races out there.
Mm-hmm.
There is one that's not so very good. Those are the ones that are usually doing abduction cases. They're more nefarious than they are nice and kind and benevolent. But there are several races. I mean, we're not the only ones here, and God didn't create just one alien race. There are many of them out there. Right. And have been coming back and forth here, observing us and watching our growth. So a lot of this technology, since they have this relationship with us, and let me just note too, that the first people to actually use alien technology were the Nazis. They had encounters with aliens prior to us. They had encounters. This is why they were able to invent fusion, and some of the stuff that they did is because they had. Look at all the stories behind the Nazis and the aliens and the encounters that they had, the moon base, all of this stuff. It's not so far-fetched now. It really is not. So I think we should go deeper into this content maybe next week, so we could talk about these stories.
We definitely will. I purposely didn't touch the alien topic. Just focused on the spacecraft for this one. Only that there's so much complexity that gets brought into the when you're talking about the specific alien species and the different types of alien species and the interactions that people have had and where people have interacted with them and what we've learned from them and all of this type of thing that I wanted to just focus on the latest. So
thank you, Addie. That was
welcome.
Really compelling, very compelling news. Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited to jump into this topic.
Thank you.
So as we said, you all, this is AAPI month, and we wanted to actually highlight some cryptids within the Asian and Pacific Islander communities, some that we probably don't know about. And we know about cryptids here. We know about Bigfoot. We know about La Llorona, all the cryptids that are indigenous to what we call North and South America. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to talk about some cryptids that are in Asian countries that we don't know about. So, that's a very good point too, by the way, Mia. It's an excellent point.
It is an excellent point.
Yeah. So let's get into our first cryptid. So the first cryptid that I came across, and I don't know if I'm going to say this name right, it's called the Penanggalan. Yeah, Penanggalan. So apparently this is from Malaysia. It's a vampire type monster who separates at the neck and flies with her entrails dragging behind her.
Oof.
Yes. So as you can see it depicted here. Ooh. But here's a story right here's this right here.
Sure, her face looks pretty pleasant, except
right. So during the day, she appears as a regular woman, but her head flies off at night so she could flit around, terrifying people and supposedly eating newborn babies.
What?
There are actual rituals of protection against this monster, or just for luck, and they use it around pregnant women and newborn babies.
Wow!
And apparently, the Penanggalan smells of vinegar because she must be clean for her dangling entrails with it and stuff them back into her body through the neck by morning. So she smells like vinegar because she's disaffecting herself with vinegar.
Mm. And she needs her digestive system because she's eating babies, apparently.
Yes, exactly. So the legend is that supposedly a normal woman, supposedly she was a normal woman until somebody started startled her badly, and her head popped off.
What?
And now she's and this is what she is, but she's vampiric in the sense.
What?
Yeah, she's called by many names. She's called by her name is Hantu Pengalan, Layak, and Krasu in the Southeast Asian countries.
Horrifying.
She reminds me of The Thing, but like just the head. This is wow.
Yeah.
How big does her mouth? You know what? It doesn't even matter how big her mouth gets to eat the baby. The whole point is that she's out here taking newborn babies. I'm against it. She looks terrifying. I don't. There's no way we can stop. There's no way we can stop this. You know, like with vampires in I want to say the Western. Am I correct? No, in the Eastern lore, excuse me. You have to kill Vlad the Impaler, aka Dracula. You kill Dracula, kills all the. Well, you can't really kill Dracula, but if you kill Dracula at that time, all the other vampires die, with the exception of his son Alucard.
That's only if he sired them. No, if you kill Dracula, all his other vampires die if he sired those vampires.
So you're telling me? So just out of curiosity, right? So if you were Dracula and you sired me and I sired Augie and somebody killed you, only me and you would die, but Augie would live?
No, if they killed you, they would also die. But if they killed Dracula, you would die, and then everything. Oh, I guess that's right. It would have a trigger effect, right?
That's what I thought.
You cut the head off the snake, basically.
You would know better than me. I kill them all.
I think he has to sire you, though, in order for you to die. And I don't think your people, if he sired you, you would die, but I don't think your people die because you weren't the first kill. You were only killed as a result of of his murder. So yes, they still are around, but I believe that he has to sire you.
I just asked that because I would not like these creatures to be around, and maybe we can go after the head honcho, the original woman. Because she said she's vampiric, so I'm guessing she also spreads. Is it like a thing where she gets more members? I guess.
No. I don't think that she's vampiric in the sense that she infects and then she creates.
Okay.
What I think is that she sucks blood through her teeth because her teeth are vampiric.
Okay.
In a sense, they look like like vampire teeth. But
yes.
The thing is, and Augie, you asked this. You said, how big does her mouth get? Or you ask it, Mayhem. But the thing is, if this woman is able to dislodge her body, chances are she can do whatever with her mouth.
Yeah, I'm not messing with this girl.
No, I don't even know how they even would come up with something like that.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so then the next cryptid, I know, very horrifying. Ooh. So the next cryptid that we're going to talk about is the Mongolian death worm.
Oof.
Okay. So the legend about the Mongolian death worm is, and it's called the Algohai Korkoi. It has 2 to 5 feet long and spits acid at anyone who crosses its path.
What?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now they said they say this creature actually exists. At least that's what the locals in the Mongolian Gobi Desert say. That's who they tell outsiders about this particular worm when they visit.
It's 2 to 5 feet long?
Mm-hmm. 2 to 5 feet long. And the worm resembles a cow intestine, but it's red. And if you touch it, or if it spits at you, instant death follows, which probably explains why there are no photographs of it. Most consider it a legend. A couple of journalists went to Mongolia to find evidence of whatever it was that engendered the story of the Mongolian death worm. Mm-hmm. So all of these have some kind of basis, that there was somebody that actually came up with these stories, that these things actually existed. But apparently that's what it is. Wow. The Mongolian death worm.
That is horrible. These are horrible, horrible things that you're showing us tonight. Thank you, Sista.
I know it lives in a desert, but can we burn it with fire? Can we burn it with fire and that be it?
I'm sure that they could burn it with fire. I'm sure they could.
As long as it doesn't squirt you with acid.
If it doesn't squirt you with acid, it would have to take several people to do it. But you know what? The interesting thing is, how did this come about? always when there's some kind of a legend, there actually had to be something, a progenitor to this particular
some sort of nugget of truth.
Yeah, a nugget of truth. Exactly. A nugget of truth. Yeah.
Maybe they watched.
Exactly, Mia. Exactly what I said. It came from some kind of truth. So very, very, very ugly creature.
Maybe they read Dune.
Yeah,
they were inspired by Dune.
Well, maybe Dune was inspired by this.
It's true.
Yeah. So it says that it is. This is part of a card game, but apparently it was created. I'm not sure what game this is from. I think Monsters of the Mind. But this is what you need to do to defeat this one. It says a desert-dwelling monster is deadly to the touch. Bubbles on its skin swell with poison and burst, killing anyone when the toxin splashes on you. Some say the worm can also spit its venom. Its venom. If venom isn't enough, the Mongolian deathworm can also kill with a strong jolt of electricity. Animals as large as camels are said to drop dead in the instance if struck with this worm's charge.
Fire. Just blow. You know what? Just kerosene gas and like a bottle Molotov. Fire.
I guess I'll take Mongol.
You're right, Mia. Tremors. Exactly. I believe that this is where the origin story of Tremors.
I'll have to look that up. That sounds like the right thing.
Yeah.
I will cross Mongolia off my list of places to visit.
No, thank you. No, thank you to me too. It's a no, thank you. So that's my cryptids that I wanted to show this evening. I will do some more. I will do some more cryptids later. What do y'all think about? What do y'all think about those cryptids?
I thought it was amazing. It's always good to know because our world is really dangerous with creatures. Like I watched Discovery Channel, National Geographic since I was little. Back when it used to be on PBS 13, if you remember. And like a lot of the creatures that are very poisonous and venomous to us human beings and other animals are generally located in Australia. And, they're located in different parts of the world. But then what happens is people like exotic pets or they get hitchhikers on food transports, when we're trading or whatnot. So they spread. So the fact that something like this can still be around, I want to know where it originated. I think that Mongolian worm probably came from the sea somewhere because that is like the one place we have not fully explored.
Right.
The depths of the sea. So like somehow it came from the sea and it just settled in the desert and it was just like, you know what? If you see me, you die. And I like now that I know this.
And that's evolution, everybody.
Yeah.
To be fair, I would love to watch the desert from afar. I would never personally like to go into the desert. It's way too many things that could kill me that are regular. No, I'm good. Thank you for sharing.
I think that's the thing, that there are other creatures that we are totally unaware of. We know that there's some basis to it. We know that they exist. We have plenty of cryptids here in the U.S.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, this is beyond my perception. I can't even think about that.
Things are being discovered all the time. There was just a new frog that was discovered in Brazil. Yes. It's like a yellow frog. And it's poisonous, so you will die if you touch it.
But here's the thing: where was it all the time? And I think it's because we're encroaching on lands and we're destroying this planet that these things are being uncovered. Because we did not know about this before.
I believe that.
So agreed. What happens is a lot of exploration teams are really going there are being kind of like bought out in a sense to see what they can farm and what kind of part of the forest they can cut down for whatever without too much problems for indigenous tribes and other communities that live there, as well as the animals. So nature, number one, finds a way. So when you constantly keep killing a creature, so it's going to develop a defense mechanism. There's parts of the Amazon forest that we have not fully discovered. There's species that have been hidden for so long. I think, if I'm correct, I think it's like something of like 30% of the Amazon has been discovered. Just 30%. And the Amazon forest has been around for millennia, and the fact that we only know 30% of its creatures and things that live there, I could be wrong with the actual, but I know it's low. It's ridiculous. So
but the thing is that we're destroying it and we're cutting down the trees and stuff. These things are now coming forth.
Of course.
That's just like us building houses in forest areas, and then we're all freaked out when we have a mountain lion on our porch one day, because technically you're in their territory. That's not the other way around. And if they find a food source, which might be your trash that you're putting out every day, well, what do you expect?
Right.
You're encroaching on their land. You're encroaching on their territory. So anyway, well, let's go into our next subject. So as we are talking about Asian horror and Asian films, I kind of wanted to highlight a couple of the Asian films that I believe are my favorites.
I'm so excited about this segment.
Yeah, that are some of my favorites, and I would highly recommend you watch these films and possibly play some of these games. Now, Asian horror, in my opinion, is scarier than even American horror. American horror doesn't even match up to Asian horror. Asian horror is hellified scary. And this is one of the reasons why I love this genre, because a lot of the content that we play, even today on video games, was created from Asian horror. You look at the Resident Evil franchise, you look at all the other franchises that were created, Fatal Frame. These are all very terrifying stories. Now, I don't know if it's scary to me because it's such an alien atmosphere. I don't live in Asia, so the perspective of things may be different. It's something I'm unfamiliar with, but I can tell you this is some really scary, and they don't have to use gore. They don't have to use blood.
Yes.
It is straight up paranormal horror that is just, out of this world.
I remember you explaining that to me one time, that American horror is very much like, boo, you're scared, right? I'm just the jump scare and gore, basically. Where Asian horror is more about getting under your skin. Mm-hmm. It's more about slowly unraveling this horrific situation in front of you to the point where you can't escape it. Yeah, I remember you saying that before, Les, and that just has stuck with me.
And it makes you think. It's so psychological in a sense that it sticks with you for a very long time.
I think that's the best horror stories to listen to, where it psychologically makes you challenge what's real, what's not, and morally kind of like makes you reflect on what you've done. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's per se an American story, but like the Devil franchise, right? The latest movie I loved. It's not all that scary, but it's the fact that mentally it's a mind game on who the actual devil is and what the people have to do to uncover it. I'm not going to spoil it here. And it freaked me out. And I've been watching horror since WB Friday night movie nights. Okay. I've been watching it since I was young.
I watched that too.
Yeah.
You guys know. So I agree. Asian horror films are definitely way more scarier because it's definitely more mental and psychological. It's not just, here's blood and gore and jump scares. It's no like, good luck sleeping tonight.
Not only that, when they try to translate it over to an English version, it doesn't hit the mark.
Yeah.
It does not hit the mark. And I would, for the longest, have been trying to figure out why it does not hit the mark. But the thing is, I don't think that we as Americans can tell a scary story like the Japanese, the Asian, the Koreans. They really tell horrific stories. And they're always about, people who leave this earth and have like a
grudge,
yes. or they had a love that they couldn't get rid of, and so they stay around forever. These are people that are wrapped up in some type of emotion or obsession that keeps them here and bound to the individual or to a land or to a home or something like that. So speaking of that, let's talk about our first one. Our first one is, of course, you said it, The Grudge.
Yes.
The Grudge,
yes,
as we know, is Ju-on. So this is Ju-on 2, which is actually not the one that I wanted to do, but let's go with the first Ju-on because all of this in the series actually is very, very good. But I love this picture the most. So if you have never watched the Grudge or Ju-on, and like I said, you need to watch the Asian version. throw out the American version. It is not the same.
I watched the American version, and I was not a fan.
No,
Yes.
you're not a fan. So the storyline is that a Japanese girl who she's a volunteer social assistant. Her name is Rika Nishina, is assigned to visit a family, and she is cursed and chased by two revengeful fiends. Kayako, a woman brutally murdered by her husband, and her son Toshio. Now, each person that lives in or visits this haunted house is murdered or disappears. Okay, so this film was picked up by Sam Raimi, who tried to, he optioned Sony to remake it because he was a big fan of this film. This film was written by, I'm trying to think of who wrote this.
A really famous Asian horror writer.
It was directed by Takahashi Shimizu. And it was directed by Takahashi Shimizu.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, this film, this young girl goes in and she's assigned this particular house, and there's a lady there that is an elderly lady that, they think that she has dementia, but in actuality, the lady has been seeing these ghosts in this house that her family lives in. And so when the young girl goes there to stay, and she spends the night at the house taking care of this elderly woman, she sees this little boy running around, and he's stark white, horrible eyes, just appears out of nowhere, is looking through the railings of the stairway and everything like that. But this woman is trying to tell her what she's seeing, and she's just thinking that the woman has dementia. And in all honesty, she's seeing these things walking around the home. This creature right here, the woman who was brutally murdered by her husband, makes the most god-awful sound. I don't know how anybody could ever forget the sound. It's something like this, like that,
right.
Because her throat was slit. And she appears under this one right here is one of the most horrific scenes in the film, is her crawling up under this girl's bed sheets. Now, even in that, let me explain to you, think about that. We would never do something like that in American horror. American horror is very up front and in your face. This, to imagine something crawling up next to your skin in your bed, and then you looking under your cover and seeing this face laying next to you, you're at your most vulnerable position right here.
Like I said, I know I've been talking about it a lot. I'm not a pyromaniac, but fire in this whole house. Take grandma, burn down this house.
The thing about this particular thing is that their spirits were tied to this home. So as a result of the Grudge 1, now we have Grudge 2 and Grudge 3 because people keep renting this house and giving it to people, and people keep encountering this family who are tied to this home.
I definitely have to watch the original now.
Yeah, it's very, 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 very good. I highly recommend this.
Les, if I'm not mistaken, this one is a lot more intense and a little bit more gorier. Not a little bit more, a lot more gorier than the American adaptation. Am I correct?
No, this is not gory.
Not gory at all. Okay.
No, not gory at all.
Really? Okay, so I gotta watch it.
I don't recall seeing any blood in this.
Really? So they managed to make in a sense, a classic horror film with no blood, in a sense.
It has some very difficult situations in it, but
right.
I don't recall seeing blood in this film. And I could be wrong, but I don't recall it.
Amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
I gotta watch this version then, definitely.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I could tell you it is not bloody graphic. It is more just creepy as hell.
Ooh.
I love it.
You sold
me for it.
Yeah, and after you watch it, you have to tell me what you think about it. Maybe we will have like a movie night where we can all, it definitely messes with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But maybe we could watch this film all together and then give a review afterwards.
Let's do it.
We'll do a movie night and we can watch it.
I'll bring the popcorn.
All right. Yeah, do that. Okay, so
I'll bring my sparkling personality.
Please do that, and your screams. The next movie that I wanted to highlight is The Eye. So we know that The Eye had actually been done, also recreated for the American version. It had Jessica Alba in it. But I can say again, you all, this is the best version. Jessica Alba
I don't remember. Can you tell us a little bit about it, please?
So the story is that a blind girl gets a cornea transplant so that she will be able to see again. She's been blind all her life. She gets more than she bargained for when she receives the ability to see ghosts.
Wow. That's cool.
Also very, 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 very good movie. Very good movie. Yes. So in the storyline, she already had the ability to see things. She was basically a sensitive, but with this new eye that was given to her in a transplant, with somebody that passed away, she also inherited the ability to see because she could see the dead, because the person that gave her the eye, of course, is died on the operating table through some kind of accident or something like that, and donated their organs. So one of the wonderful things about this film is, and this is why I said that this is so very, very good, is the fact that you don't know who is a ghost and who is not.
Oh,
that's fun.
No.
Yes.
Oh, yes. More, please. Yes.
You do not know.
The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, you don't know. So she, she's having conversations, but through the whole film, at first, when I first saw the film, I didn't know any difference. It was not until the end of the film that I was like, oh my God, was that person a real person that she was talking to? Because you don't know. Yes.
Oh, I'm excited for this now. This is good. This is going on the list.
Definitely.
And I'm telling you, you all want to know what's creepy as heck. Because she doesn't know who's real. And people are thinking she's crazy, because it looks to them that she may be talking to somebody that ain't there.
Yep.
Without spoiling for us, will this movie have us looking to see who's the ghost and who's not? Like, we'll watch it again and just be like, this person has on 2 left shoes. It's got to be a ghost.
You will go back and look at it and go, I wonder, was that a real person, or I wonder if that was a ghost.
See, the way you're saying this, it sounds like we'll never know. Like, we'll never know. I got to watch it now. I have to watch this.
It's a very good, but she has the ability to see ghosts through this. It's just the way she inherited. So I highly recommend The Eye. Like I said, please do not look at the American version. Look at the Asian version first. There is an I-1 and there's an I-2, but I would say watch I-1. I-2 is not just as good, but it's still good, but it's not as good as this one, the original one.
Okay.
This movie was directed by Danny Pang and the Pang brothers. So the Pang brothers are 2 gentlemen who do Asian horror, Danny Pang and Aksai Chun Pang. It was written by Yue Jianhui and Danny Pang from the Pang brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. But excellent film.
There was another Grudge that came out in 2020.
Yes. Was that the American Grudge?
It's the American Grudge, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think it's an insult, honestly, because they just can't capture what we know. They just can't.
Yeah.
All right, so the last film that I want to highlight actually was originally started as a video game. And so since we are talking about video games here, I'm going to talk about Parasite Eve.
I think I know this one.
All right. So Parasite Eve was a movie that was created as a result of a video game that we played back in the early days. So Parasite Eve, let me just give you a little bit about the gaming history of this. It's an action role-playing game developed and published by Square. The game is a sequel to a novel, Parasite Eve, which was written by Hideki Sana. and it's also the first game in the Parasite Eve video game series. The story follows a New York City police officer, Aya Brea, over a 6-day span in 1997 as she attempts to stop the Eve, a woman who plans to destroy the human race through spontaneous human combustion. And players explore levels set in the areas of New York while utilizing a plausible real-time combat system along with several role-playing games. So this is like one of your first, this was like what you would play on a PlayStation. This actually started out on a PlayStation, old school first PlayStation 1.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, yes, it did. And as you can see, this is the graphics, what it looked like when graphics were very blocky.
And the map is of New York.
1998. This came out in 1998.
She's walking through New York?
Yeah, she was walking through New York. So this is the subway.
Yeah. You couldn't tell us anything about those graphics. Those graphics were like amazing, and it was still, and they were still able to kind of scare us. Because I remember picking this game up, thinking, "Oh, this is nothing," and it was it was scary.
Yeah, it was scary, and I remember this game. And yep, it was. That's right, Giovanni. It was on a PS1, one of the first PS1 games. So a film was actually created about Parasite Eve after this. Look at these graphics right here, y'all. Remember these? Yeah. Oh my God.
So
I love it so much. I got the feels over this. This is so nostalgic. Yeah.
Really quickly. So like, although we don't have the mind-blowing graphics that we have today, back then developers, what they did was they did a lot of shading and whatnot. So like even the mood of the room or sometimes the building that you were in was very dark. So when I look at this, I think of Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and although you'll be running like this and you can barely aim, which is scary in itself, but then when it translates to a cinematic scene or whatever, and it's just like, it's so scary because everything is so dark, no matter how bright you make your TV, to an extent, obviously. Yeah. So like the mood was always terrifying.
Yeah. Very scary. That's right, Giovanni. Yep, you are so right. And we didn't know no difference when it was blocky. We were just like, oh my God, this game is so scary. And I mean, now when you look at it, of course, in comparison to what it's turned into today, but you couldn't tell us anything back in those days.
I still think this game is scary. I don't know if I'd play it like that.
Has it been updated, or is it still just available in PS1 format?
I think I don't think it has been updated. I think it's still, I think it's still in this 1998 form. I don't believe. I think we need a PS5. Maybe our audience members will know if it's been updated, but I don't recall it being updated. I believe that this is it.
So Parasite Eve 2, which was released in 1999, and the Third Birthday was re-released on a PlayStation Network in 2010. So that's as far as they went with that. I think they just left it for the culture. They had a good thing, they just left it as is. Right.
Sounds amazing.
The game was dope.
Yeah.
So they actually made a movie out of it. Now, the interesting about this movie is the movie was nothing, outside of what she could do. So the movie is a biologist by the name of Toshiaki Nakashima. He is doing major research on the mitochondria. And when his beautiful young wife is tragically involved in a car accident, which leaves her brain dead, in desperation, he steals her liver from her body in order to receive the mitochondria from it to resurrect his wife from the dead. But the killer mitochondria takes the form of his assistant, who then uses the biologist for the host of a terrifying new species that is threatening to take over the world.
What?
Burn it.
But the thing is that she burns. So that you can't say you can burn it, because that is her superpower, is that she burns.
Cool it. Freeze it.
She's probably okay. The Third Birthday was on PSP. Is Parasite Eve 3. Okay.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you.
So yeah, she's pyrokinetic.
Send her into space. She
glows.
Yeah.
Put on one of those UFOs.
Yeah. So this actually was a really good movie. Now, like I know they strayed away from the video game. I don't think that it was the scariest movie, but the thing is that because I appreciated the video game version, I did take a look at this. Once again, though, I can definitely say that it still had the creepy Asian effect. horror effect to it, and it does have some creepy moments. I don't know where we can find this film today. This film came out like in the early 2000s or right after Parasite Eve, had made its run. So, but if you do have a chance to look at it, one, if you are a fan of the game, I would say throw out everything you know about the game and just enjoy the movie for what it is. But if you've never played the game, maybe this would be an introduction to you just to know about the character. Like I said, it's not like the game, but it gives you an introduction to the storyline.
For some reason, I kind of feel like a lot of people. I think of the Species movie, yes. And I feel like it borrowed, especially that scene right there. I don't know why. I feel like it borrowed from this movie.
Oh, I'm quite sure that it did. I'm quite sure that they took some version of it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I really like Species.
Yeah, I like Species too. But this is definitely, or Splice for that matter. Remember the movie Splice?
Oh, yes. Right. Yeah.
Something to do with this, right? So, yeah. But this is definitely a very little known film that came out that I thought was a really good horror film for the genre.
Thank you. Thank you for showing us that.
Very welcome. You're so very welcome. Thank you so much.
By the way, The Grudge, the original one, not the American one, the original one is available right now on Prime.
Oh, yes. So we got to watch it now. You all watch the original Ju-On, and please let us know what you think about it. Next week when we come back and we do another segment on horror, let us know what you thought about The Grudge, if you saw it, and maybe we can have like a quick Q&A with our audience members who have watched the film.
I'm watching it this week.
Yes. Can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes.
I honestly feel like we all need to watch it together, but I know that Mayhem is too busy to watch it, but we should watch it together.
Mayhem.
Do a movie viewing of it.
I am not too busy to watch my friends scream at a screen with me as we all say, burn it with fire. Okay. I would love to watch it.
So let's set up a time. Let's set up a time to watch it this weekend.
8 o'clock.
The original Ju-On. 8 o'clock tomorrow night?
Sure.
That didn't sound like full commitment to me.
As long as I finish my laundry, we're fine.
All right. We can do that. Yeah.
I know we're copyrighted, but it's on YouTube. Wow, it's on YouTube. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Giovanni. You've been a real source tonight. You've been helping us out.
He's working it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a co-host tonight.
No, exactly. So before we leave, let's just kind of give a round of Annabelle will be back with us next week. But Mike, let us know where you could be. Mike is, as you know, on the last stop of the L, but just kind of shout out to where you're going to be in the next coming week.
So as long as the UFOs don't get me, I will be on this lovely planet Earth. You can find me on the Last Stop on L podcast. I'm actually getting back into my gaming at Q Mayhem Gaming on Twitch. As on Sundays, we do This Week in Pop Culture. This Sunday, Mother's Day. Nobody's going to be there, so don't look for us. And then Wednesday, The Take. Definitely you can find me there. Or just add me on Geeks Unlimited on Instagram, and I'll put all the information there, and it'll be easier for you to navigate. And so long as they'll have me, Thursdays with the Tingling tea.
Yes, we're gonna have to have like an induction ceremony for you because you've been here all. Oh wow! All
of these, he hasn't screwed up so far, so doing a good job.
But just to let you all know, you can find all of this on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. This Week in Pop Culture is on Facebook. And I believe The Take is going to be on Twitch only coming forward, right? So it's going to be on Twitch.
Yes.
So, yeah, you can see that. For me, you can see me here on the Tingling Tea every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And just go and look at our programming at CRYPTID Productions on Facebook and YouTube. Look at some past episodes if you'd like to. I'm on Sunday nights with Mayhem on This Week in Pop Culture with the Evolution Comics. I also will be here on this channel at the Bitten Apple TV on Saturdays, although not this Saturday because it's Mother's Day. You can see me there at 1 o'clock Saturday morning, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon Eastern Standard Time. So, and how about you, Augie? You'll be back here?
Oh, I'm just here. I'm not like you guys. I don't have like a million different shows going on. I just have this show. So you can just shoot
And
me
that's
here.
enough. That's enough.
That is plenty. Like, I ain't got time for the rest of it. So, so Insta Augie_Onimus. Please come and join me on Insta. I share lots of cool content there.
Yes, and also follow me on Instagram at LFry1 or at SistaSlaya, which is my gaming game. You can always see me playing on Twitch under SistaSlaya. My game of choice right now is Dead by Daylight.
Woo!
Yes,
I went to play that. I went to play that 2 nights ago, and they had another update. They had another update. So I was like, what am I going to do? I have 23 minutes to update.
Okay,
so
I'll tell you what you need
Alien
to do.
Isolation.
Well, okay, we're going to talk about Alien Isolation, but I'm going to tell you what you need to do. What you need to do is get yourself a gaming PC and get off that PlayStation. Because you'll be waiting till Jesus comes home for that update to happen.
It did feel like I was waiting for Jesus to come home.
Yeah. That PlayStation and the updates take forever. I could say this. I love their graphics. I am always going to be a Sony fan, but their online community and their online services are horrible. And I do love Xbox. I have both. So I'm just saying, for update's sake, that PlayStation is booty. It's awful.
So I just want to interject and say 2 things really quickly. First of all, I would love to do an independent project with you guys, like a short film. I think that would be dope, and maybe we could do a reading with it as well. That'd be fun. But also, Augie, when you are on DVD with us, definitely include Mia. That would be amazing. I would love to see you.
Oh, let's do
Augie,
Mia.
Leslie, Mia, and Annabelle, and I would do commentary. I would do commentary from the background with my PGA jacket.
You don't have to ask me twice. We're on it.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. You know, we do have a gaming session here on the Tingling Tea. So one night while we are playing, let's definitely do this.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Giovanni. We really appreciate it.
Wait till you see our gaming episode.
Yeah, Mia, you and I are going to survive this. Even if Sista kills us,
we'll
we're gonna get that done.
It's Annabelle that sets you guys up. Remember.
I'm gonna save Mia.
Annabelle.
I don't know about the rest of you. I'll save Mia.
All right. So we'll be back here next Thursday, you all. Same time, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And let us just know, please like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube and Facebook under CRYPTID Productions. We are the Tingling Tea for all the moms out there and all the would-be moms out there and all the moms that are about to be. Happy Mother's Day to you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
All right. Take care. See you next week.
Bye.